Ebola azinze ab'ekibale 14 bafudde. Abavuzi ba taxi beediimye entambula esanyaladde Mityana. Lindo olabe ow'emyaka 23 afaanana ng'omwana ow'emyaka 10. Poliisi enoonya nnyina gw'abadde abeera naye. Mu mizannyo, Hippos eya Uganda yeetakuluza ku Ghana mu kikopo ky'abali wansi w'emyaka 20. NTV ku Ssaawa munze Frank Walusimbi nkwaniriza nate. Twabategeeza jjo ku kirwadde ekitategerekeka ekyalumba abantu ekibale abamu ne basenguka ne mu maka gaabwe. Aba ministry ey'ebyobulamu n'abakugu abalala abazze betegereza ensonga eno bakakasiza nti ono Ebola ye yalumbye ebyalo. Omwaka oguwedde waliwo omwana agambibwa nti yafa Ebola ebombo ate mu 2007 Ebola yakwata abantu 139 n'abatta. Mu 2000 Ebola yatta abantu abasoba mu 223 mu mambuka ga Uganda. Tugenze okujja ku mpewo ng'abakugu bamaze dda okukwatamu ebyanguwa batuuke ekibalo okutaasa abantu.
Ab'ekitongole ky'ebyobulamu bagamba nti okuva amawulire g'ekirwadde kino bwe gaabagwa mu kutu ng'ennaku z'omwezi 11 omwezi guno baasitukiramu ne batandika okunoonyereza okutuusa lwe bazudde nti Uganda ezzeemu okuyingirwamu ekirwadde ky'Ebola. Ekirwadde ky'Ebola ekizuuliddwa kya kika kya Sudan.
Olunaku lw'eggulo twafunye results okuva mu keberero ly'omusaayi Entebbe nga ziraga nti obulwadde bwe tudiringa nabwo oba bwe tukolako bwe bulwadde obwa Ebola okuva ku balwadde 3 kwaba 35 abagibwako omusaayi n'ebintu ebirala ebyokumubiri gwabwe.
Okulangirira kuno kusanze abantu 14 be bakafa ekirwadde kino omuli ebbujje lino eryakutuse ekiro ekyakeesezza olwaleero ng'ono abadde mwana wa musawo eyafa olw'okujjanjaba abantu abaali balina ekirwadde ky'Ebola. Bwe batabye ebyobulamu basabye abantu okuba obulindaala era batuuse dda ekibale n'ebikozesebwa okuziyiza obulwadde buno okwongera okusaasaana.
Tumaze okufulumya ekiwandiiko eri abasawo abali mu field ekibale keesi zonna ezakazuulibwa gye zibadde naye nga okutwaliza awamu okuziika omuntu afudde obulwadde bwa Ebola kulina okukolebwako abasawo abakugu era nga omuntu oyo bw'amala okufa tetukkiriza bantu be kumukwatako.
Ebola yeeyoleka n'omusujja ogw'amaanyi okuvaamu omusaayi, olubuto n'omutwe okuluma, embiro, amaaso okumyuka n'okubutuka. Ayita mu kukwata ku musaayi gw'omulwadde, amalusu, obubi, ebisesemye, entuuyo n'ebiringa ebyo, oba engoye n'ebyokweyalira by'omulwadde, ssaako okukwata ku mulambo mu kuziika gamba nga bagunaaza. Ebola yakwata abantu 425 eggulu mu mwaka gwa 2024 kwabo ne bafa. Mu mwaka gwa 2007 ebundi bujo yakwata abantu 149 era kwabo 37 ne bafa. Irene Namyalo, NTV ku Ssaawa emu.
NTV ku Ssaawa emu weewaawo. Abakozi mu ofiisi ya Ssaawa Minisita tutegedde nti si baakufuna musaala gwa mwezi guno mu budde olw'okunoonyereza okugenda mu maaso ku ntambuza y'emirimu mu ofiisi eyo. Abakwatiddwa bonna ku byekuusa ku mivuyo egigambibwa okubeera mu ofiisi eno bateereddwa ku kakalu ka poliisi. Katufune ebisingawo.
Olwaleero Ssabbiiti Namba nga bamega poliisi bawuliriza ku bigambibwa nti waliwo abakungu ba gavumenti abakola mu ofiisi ya Ssaawa Minisita abaliko bye baasobya mu nzirukanya y'emirimu gyabwe. Muno mulimu ombalirizi w'ebitabo omukulu Geoffrey Kazinda wabula ng'ono poliisi yamuta kakalu kaayo ku Lwokuna. Abalala kuliko Kennedy Lubega ng'ono akola gonna naguli mu ofiisi zino, Owunyu Isaiah ne Musiyo Byekwasi nga bano Kashiya ne Arthur Manyire nga mbalirizi wa bitabo. Poliisi egamba tebanalika emisango gyegenda okubavunaana.
Twabaguddeko emisango emikulu 4 kujingirira ebiwandiiko, ekkubaane mu mirimu gyabwe n'okufiiriza gavumenti omudede gw'ensimbi ate n'obukenuzi.
Embere n'okunoonyereza ku ofiisi zino egenda kuviirako abakozi mu ofiisi ya Ssaabaminisita obutafuna nsimbi zaabwe za mwezi guno mu budde okusinziira ku kiwandiiko NTV kyesanze ku ofiisi zaabwe. Abamu ku bakulu bano olwaleero baddiziddwayo ku ofiisi zaabwe okwongera okuzeekebejja n'okubabuuza akanana akataano. Kyokka poliisi etutegeezezza nti bonna kati bakkiriziddwa okugira nga baddayo eka era nga bateeredde kakalu kaayo.
Era balagiddwa okudda ku poliisi amangu ddala nga bwe kikkaanyiziddwako. Bitagolwa Mande byeyanjuleyo okunoonyeza kwaffe nga bwekugenda mu maaso.
Poliisi mu kwaza kuno kwekoledde ssabbiiti ennamba eriko ebiwandiiko bingi byezudde nga begenda okukozesa okuvunaana abantu bano nga mu kiseera kino bo emisango gino bagyegaana. Ensonda mu poliisi zitegeezezza nga bwe waliwo minisitule za gavumenti endala zigenda okuzindibwa mu kaweefube wa gavumenti ow'okulwanyisa obukenuzi.
NTV ku ssaawa emu entambula emitiano olwaleero ezibuwadde n'ekamala ng'abavuzi ba takisi beediima wakati mu kuwakanya aba disitulikiti obutazza ttenda yaabwe bujja. Badereva bano beemulugunya ne ku ssente ezibagibwako buli lunaku. Omuntu waffe ali erudde aliko byaweereza.
Abagoba b'ebidduka bano baakedde kwediima nga bagamba engeri abakungu ba disitulikiti gye bakuttemu ensonga zaabwe ya ssemugayaavu ekibaviiriddeko okugaana okutambuza abantu basobole okuwuliriza ensonga zaabwe. Badereva bano bagamba nti baagala babakendeereze ku nsimbi ze babasolozaamu wabula nga kino abakungu ba disitulikiti baakigaana. Bano era bagasseeko nga bwe waliwo kampuni emu eyagala okubayingirira mu mulimu gwabwe nga kino bagamba si baakukikkiriza.
Bazze okutendalinga ttenda eno ne bateekamu ssente nnyingi ennyo siguleva n'atasobola kukolaki kusasula. Batugamba nti buli kana kusasula ensiringi 15 omwezi tusasule siringi 2,200. Kitegeeza nti emitwalo 17 naki tetusobola kusasula ssente ezo nga nnyingi nnyo.
Akeediimo kano kasanyalaza entambula wabula bo abaabirolessaako bodaboda n'obumotoka obwa maayika babadde ku mudido. Akulira abagoba ba takisi bano Godfrey Bambi agambye nti ye talina kyakukola kubanga abantu baakulira bamwewaguddeko.
Sirina kyakukolera badereva kubanga mbanyonyodde kyensobola okubanyonyola bannewaguddeko. Disitulikiti bino naye ebireese eveeyo yennyini oba yagala bakulembedde baveeyo ku disitulikiti oba ku kanso bajje banyonyola abantu kyekitambula.
Wabula tugezezzaako okwogeraganya ne ssentebe wa disitulikiti naye tetusobodde kumufuna. Abagoba bano bagamba nti singa abakulu bano tebakola ku nsonga zaabwe tebagenda kuddamu kusaabaza bantu mu paaka eno. Gye buvuddeko abagoba ba takisi bano beekalakaasa ne balumba ekitebe kya disitulikiti nga baagala babakolere ku nsonga zaabwe era ne babawa ennaku 14 wabula nga kino kirabika kyali kyakubawoyawoya busungu.
Otyo ekikwekweto okubasawo abafere ekyakoleddwa ekyotera gye kyaggweredde nga obulwaliro 8 buggaddwa ate abantu 27 poliisi n'ab'ekibiina ki Allied Health Professionals ne babakwata bagende banyonyole yabawa ebisaanyizo okutandika okutunda eddagala n'okujjanjaba abantu.
Akalwaliro kano akasangibwa mu tawuni y'e Betelemu ekyotera ka Dr. Edward tusuubirwa nga y'omu ku baakwatiddwa mu kikwekweto ekyakoleddwa okukwata abasawo abatalina biwandiiko. Abakungu okuva mu Allied Health Professionals nga bayambibwako abapoliisi bazinze akalwaliro kano mwe baasanze ekitanda ekitaliiko mufaliso okubadde kujjanjabirwa abantu.
So old man, please, let's go. Wakubira empisa tekuli wadde akafaliso. Laba bintu bwabise ennyinyi bwafaanana si musawo.
Akulembeddemu ekikwekweto kino ategeezezza nga Edward tusuubirwa y'omu ku baabaleetedde okukola ekikwekweto kino. Kyokka ye tusuubira akaayanye ng'agamba bamulanga bwemage.
How many people have died toward in Giraffe district? Bameka benzijanja because of laboratory department kwani myaka 3 mbadde mulwadde.
Edward yatugamba dda nti dokita naye ebbanga lingi yomusabye empapula ze yagaana naye okusinza kubina musanga akola ndandika omubuusabuusa nti si dokita kubanga yali akula amannyo yazaalisa yasala ebizimba yalongoosa zi aniya yajjanjaba buli kimu.
Abasawo abalala 27 be bakwatiddwa olw'obutaba na biwandiiko ko ne layisinsi ezibakkiriza okukola omulimu guno.
Bwofaanana yangu kali mu balino laba bwofaanana okuva ku mutwe paka wansi busawo ki bwokola.
Dr. Kayiza ategeezezza ng'abasawo bangi abakolera mu kitundu ky'Amaserengeta bwe batalina bumanyirivu bumala era nga kino kissa balwadde mu matigga.
NTV ku ssaawa emu ekyanja poliisi enoonya omukazi eyalagajjalira omwana Olivia Nabunya eyakwatibwako omusujja ng'akyali muto ne gumuyisa bubi. Omwana ono abadde abeera ne muka kitaawe. Nabunya alina emyaka 23 naye alabika ng'omwana w'emyaka 12.
Otunuulira omwana ono Olivia Nabunya oyinza okulowooza nti wa myaka nga 6 wabula ekyewuunyisa abamumanyi bategeezezza poliisi nti Nabunya asukka emyaka 20 naye olw'embeera gy'abadde ayisibwamu nnyina omuto kiteeberezebwa okuba nga kye kimuviiriddeko okufaanana bw'ati. Muganda w'omwana ono omulenzi Ivan Impanga agamba nti ebizibu bye bayiseemu ne muka kitaabwe ono tabirojja kubanga abatulugunyiza mu ngeri etagambika. Mpanga agamba nti bombi ne mwannyina bayisibwa ng'ekyokuttale kubanga ne kitaabwe yennyini abayisa bubi ng'atuuka n'okubagaana okulya emmere awaka.
Mwana we yagusala nenkola emirimu ewakaawo naye nga mpisa bubi yankuba tenzikiriza kubeera waka.
Wabula kitaabwe Julius Sebunya agambye nti bino byonna ebyogerwa ku mukazi we gw'atayogedde mannya bya bulimba kubanga ayagala nnyo abaana bano era n'agattako nti muwala we kituufu wa myaka 23 naye alina ekirwadde ekimutawanya so si kumutulugunya.
Omusujja kuva nga muto byabufuzi ebyo byabufuzi byamaka ku baana byasangawo abakulu naddala mu abaana bawala muli bazibu nnyo ku bakozi betuleeta oluvannyuma.
Kyokka kiyinzika okuba ng'omwana ono alina ekirwadde ekimulya naye ng'endabirira yeetabaddeewo. Poliisi egamba nti bali mu kuyiga nnyina w'omwana ono ayogerwako annyonnyole lwaki abadde ayisa bubi omwana ono.
Era abasawo bategeezezza nti ekizibu ky'amaanyi omwana atalya bulungi, atalya mmere. N'abaana abalala batugambye nti babadde tebafuna kyakulya kimala. Waliwo embeera eraga nti omwana ono alabika abadde yalina obulwadde obwamukwata nga akyali muto naye nga olwo bwongeddwamu olw'obutalya bulungi nekimuleetedde n'okufuna ebirwadde ebirala.
Kigambibwa nti omukazi ono aliko eyamutemezzaako n'adduka. Dini Lubowa Sava, NTV ku ssaawa emu.
Wamalidde nno nga eddakiika ziri 10 ezimaze okuyita ku ssaawa emu. NTV ku ssaawa emu ekyagenda maaso tukomawo n'ekitundu ekyokubiri tovaawo.
Okukuuma eddembe ly'abasibe mu South Sudan, abasirikale ba Uganda ab'amakomera basiimiddwa. Oyinza okutunda by'olina weemaleko ekizibu ekyokuddamu linda singa obadde ggwe.
This is NTV.
Chichi.
What's life?
Is life ugly?
Is it spiritual?
Isn't it loved?
And above all, isn't life really drama?
Find out what life is and what it can be every Thursday at 11 p.m. with repeats on Friday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Life, Chichi.
What's life?
Is life ugly?
Is it spiritual?
Isn't it loved?
And above all, isn't life really drama?
Find out what life is and what it can be every Thursday at 11 p.m. with repeats on
To be honest, it's one of the most scary genres of music for me. To be honest, it's one of the most scary genres of music for me.
For me every day.
Irifemasi nisu tadi magero.
Embeera y'abasajja bano
essuubi nga lyakugwamu maama
bano abasajja abanaatera n'okujja kusigiriza ffe ekiro basituleko emiwumbo gy'emmere bagitwale
sogera byange kibanda bana bagamba bweyagala nkubulira ebyange ja tugende emyanzi
mpulira abanyumya babeera bakujerega waliko omusawo w'ekinansi South Africa baba bakujerega bituufu
baba banjerega
oyo mufere mubbi yennyini yeetaaga miggo
omuntu wa bulijjo tomuzanyirangako abeeranga dormant volcano
bwemba mukkiriza nina takuwa mugiyita
ate takuwa gobeera mugoberezi tolowooza nti muli mulimo oyogerera omusiraamu singa naakubuuza nti katonda yagamba atya
oba oli pasita ng'okyawa olimba obba oyenda olina abakazi basatu please heaven is waiting for you. One day you'll pay and soon your time is out.
Otisa moni.
Sitisa. Nkubulira Yesu talimba.
Ebintu mbimala mulundi gumu. Kati what is I love peace.
Gwokola byo.
Wegase n'omusajja mutwale mabi.
NTV ku ssaawa emu katugende mu maaso mu South Sudan waliyo amakomera 10. Abasibe bonna wamu balinga 65. Bangi ku basibe mu makomera gano tebasomerwanga misango mu butongole oba okulaba omulamuzi okusinziira kwa lipoota y'ekitongole ekitakabanira eddembe ly'obuntu ki Human Rights Watch abadukanya amakomera mu South Sudan tebalina nkola nnungamu kwe batambuliza mirimu waliwo ofiisa b'amakomera okuva amawanga agasoba mu 10 abatendeka b'amakomera mu ggwanga eryo naye okusinziira ku mbeera eriwo South Sudan eyagala abagiyamba ku nsonga y'amakomera abalala bangi.
Bannayuganda babiri John Mushabe ne Samuel Ngom be bamu ku basirikale b'amakomera 59 abaweereddwa emidaali ekitongole ki United Nations olw'okukola obulungi nga batendeka b'amakomera mu South Sudan. Abasirikale b'amakomera abalala basiimiddwa kuliko ab'e Kenya, Tanzania, Fiji, Netherlands, Nigeria, Zimbabwe ne Zambia. Lieutenant General Abe Mako akulira amakomera mu South Sudan agamba nti abatendesi bakoze omulimu naye byetaagisa okusomesa ab'e Sudan bikyali bingi. Mu South Sudan abasirikale b'amakomera tebamanyingirira kuyisa mu basula balwadde abazza ejjannaguma n'abazza emisango emitono saako abakazi. Bangi balowooza nti omusibe alina kutulugunyizibwa wadde kkooti yamusalira oba nga tenamusalira.
The other issue is actually the health issues. There are mental ill prisoners who are in prison and inmates, they need actually medical care. The other issue is overcrowding.
Uganda yakola endagaano ne South Sudan omwaka oguwedde okuyambako mu kutendeka b'amakomera baayo. Kirowoozebwa nti ofiisa abalala bagenda kuweerezebwa gye bujjawo katono wansi w'enteekateeka ya United Nations.
Tujja kuwaayo bano abakulira ebya welfare bajje barage aba South Sudan engeri gye balina okulabiriramu abasibe n'okulaba nti abasibe bwanga babatadde bagenda baddayo mu population nga balina empisa ennungi.
Akulira amakomera mu South Sudan yeegaana ebyogerwa nti basajja be batulugunya abantu naddala abagwira. Bannayuganda 65 be bali mu makomera g'e Sudan naye nga bangi ku baavaayo balumiriza ab'amakomera okweyisa mu ngeri etali ya buntu.
I'm sorry, that is not there. My prisons are open. If you want now, you can just imagine and see.
Alipoota nnyingi ezikoleddwa nga ziraga nti mu South Sudan abasibe batulugunyizibwa.
Major General Jim Wezi akiikirira Lukunjiri asaba abavubuka mu ggombolola y'ensangi mu district y'e Wakiso okweggyamu obwase mugayavu Muhwezi abadde ku mukolo ogw'omubaka w'abakazi wa Kiso Rosemary Seninde kwe yatongoleza ekibiina Kinsangi Youth Network ekigenda okuyamba abavubuka okwejja mu bwavu.
Nga tetugenda kulima nnyaanya zokka, tugenda kulimirako n'enva endala. Kubanga kit gye twagala okugula bagikuwanga eri complete kit, eriko ebifukirira, eriko irrigation system, eriko greenhouse, eriko ensigo, eriko buli kimu.
If you are going to succeed, you as a youth, first of all, you must be focused. You must know what you want. Many people, while they loiter around and they go into smoking marijuana, drinking, njaga and stealing and so on, it's because they are not focused.
Major General Jim Muhwezi. Police etuse mangu ku social center Imengo olwalero ku macho okuziyiza embeera y'omusaayi badde okuddirira abavubuka aba Buganda beegattira mu kibiina ekiyitibwa Bangawa bwe balumbye Patrick Byalugaba bamugobe mu kifo kino nga bagamba nti yakyesenzaamu obwesenza nga tewali muntu yenna amukkiriza.
Nze akulira wano mu kifo kino ekya Mengo Social Center. Seereetawo naleetebwawo gavumenti. Era gavumenti yejja okunzijawo. Naye bano abagamba nti bo bava mu Buganda. Nze njagala mbategeeze nti ekifo kino tekikolerwangamu mukungu yenna owa Buganda.
Naye lwaki gavumenti yaffe eno edifendinga omuntu omu atali nannyini kintu natamanya abantu bano balala bonna kye boogera.
Gavumenti yasigala ku difendinga bakozi ba
bibi. Difendinga abantu bakozi ba bibi oba fa abantu. Nzawe ngambye nti omusajja oyo aveemu, gavumenti etuyambe aveemu. Ebibya Ssaabasajja Kabaka wa Buganda awangaale.
Gurupu y'abantu wano ebaddegezaako okwevictinga families ezisula wano mu Kisenyi Social Center. So kati obuzibu bwe tufunye is that bwe bantuukirira nali mbasabye nti bwe baba balina ebiwandiiko ebituufu ebikwatagana ne Social Center ey'Ekisenyi bagende mu kooti bafune court order so that ebintu byonna biyite mu mateeka.
Bye bibadde emmenge ebyo mu Kisenyi obizingira wamu n'obiteeka mu mbeera ey'ebizibu. Ebizibu bitulumba bulijjo ate jjukira nti tebimanya nnyumba mbi. Naye singa obadde ggwe ng'olina ekizibu ekikuli obubi osobola okutunda ebibyo okukyetaasa singa obadde ggwe.
Singa obadde ggwe.
Nga mbeera ya bulijjo bwe tubeera nze Dini Lubo wa Ssaawa ku mulamwa gwaffe ogwa singa obadde ggwe. Leero tuli wano eno Kasana Luweero. Ng'endowooza gye tugenda okuteesaako tugamba nti ddala singa obadde ng'okola olina ebyobugagga byo by'olinawo ebitonotono. Naye n'ogenda ofuna ebizibu osobola okukkiriza okutunda ebintu byebyo wejje mu bizibu ebikuguddeko.
Bwe mba nga nze nina ekizibu ekyo ekigenda okuntuuza ennyumba yange nguma n'ensibwa oba ne nnoonya ssente paka lwenkola ki lwennejja mu kizibu ekyo bw'aba mwana era sikkiriza kuba bato bemba siina bwenja baleka ne bwemba nvudde mu bulamu bw'ensi eno.
Nze sobola okukkiriza otunda ebintu byange nejje mu kizibu kati ng'ekizibu bwe kiba nga kyakkomera ngenda kusiba myaka nga 10 nga nyinawo ekintu kye nsobola otunda nejje mu kizibu ekyo nsobola okitunda nenkola naye okusinga okubeera munda ntunda ekikalu kyange kuba nakigula nga kyekirina okunnyamba.
Sisobola kutunda bintu byange kubanga era ekizibu ekyo bwe nakivaamu siina wenja kubeera era siina kyenja kubeezaawo ate na banne. Era mba nina okukola nfube nga nwana ekizibu ekyo nkirwanyise nkole nsobola okkinunula.
Kisinziira kizibu ki ky'olina. Oyinza okubeera ng'olina omwana ku kitanda wano bakutwala mu kkomera era ebintu ebyo bwe biba nga bye biriwo osobola otunda ebintu ebyo ove mu kizibu.
Nsobola otunda ebintu byange singa mba nyina ebizibu kubanga kyolina kye kikuyamba. Ensonga esooka teri muntu n'omu akuwa ssente ne oba oyagala 15,000 nze nasingawo ku kabiriiti yange eno yino ogirengedde eno nagisingako ne bampula nusu 6 nga ndi bubi nga sinawe nkajja 6 era paka nakola nenkasasula kale singa kyali sana kujitune nali gitunze kuba yaliwo ng'ekola ki ng'entaasa n'olw'ensonga eyo omuntu agenda otunda ekintu kyaba tayagadde naye embeera bwe kukwata ennyo ekuwaliza n'okukola kyotandikoze kyova abalabe sibamu n'omuguwa n'afa nga laba ensi emulemye.
Nze sisobola kuba nakizibu omukazi mulwadde ali ku kitanda ali bubi nga mutuufu nina wali akabizi kange nesikatunda genda kukola ki kujja mukazi wange ku kitanda era nze fundikira ngamba ekyange kyekyayo kuba mba nakikola bukozi oba nga mbadde mukomera bagenda kunsiba.
Mubawulidde enteesa yaabwe buli omu ku mulamwa tubadde tugamba nti ddala singa obadde ng'olina ekizibu osobola okukkiriza n'otunda ebintu byo yadde ng'olina abaana osobola okwejja mu bizibu by'olimu osobola okulaba ng'obeezaawo obulamu. Nze Dini Lubo wa Ssaawa mwebale nnyo mwena abateesezza tujja kuddamu nate ng'era bulijjo.
Singa yasinga singa obaddekwa
bwe bityo senga yesingo teyasengayo kale mu mbeera eyo nabyo bitegerekese bulungi. Tukyagenda maaso ne NTV ku ssaawa emu tukomawo tukubuulira ani awangudde empaka eza Sekafa ezibadde ziyindira e Tanzania.
This is NTV.
I'm knocking. A message yali ku the last piece of a jambia yali muhadi wa yo.
No, bloody way, holy moly.
We've just met. How can I be your friend? Mr. Rajmond. Okuzimba nyumba nga kintu kizibu nnyo banange mugumire mu bupangisa. Come.
I'm called Olar Oton. There's no English name. Just like resistance, Yakazol.
Yeah, blame you. You have option of getting international husband. Why do you get the local?
U-Time.
Kwene embeera y'abasajja bano
essuubi nga lyakuggwamu maama
bano abasajja abanaatera n'okujja kusigiriza ffe ekiro basituleko emiwumbo gy'emmere bagitwale
Sogera byange. Kibanza bana bagamba nga bagamba ne bwagala nkubulira ebyange ja tugende emyanzi.
mpulira abanyumya babeera bakujerega waliko omusawo w'ekinnansi e South Africa baba bakujerega ebituufu
Baba banjerega. Oyo mufere mubbi yennyini yeetaaga miggo.
omuntu wa bulijjo tomuzanyirangako abeeranga dormant volcano
bwemba mukkiriza nina takuwa mugiyita
ate takuwa gobeera mugoberezi tolowooza nti muli mulimo gwonna oyogerera omusiraamu senga naakubuuza nti Katonda yagamba bw'ati yagamba atya.
Mune eddakiika 26 katutandikirawo n'ebyemizannyo mu mpaka ez'okusunsulamu abavubuka abali wansi w'emyaka 20 abaneetaba mu kikopo kya Africa. Ttiimu ya Hippos ewangudde aba Ghana Black Satellite Team bwe batyo bagiyita bagikubye goolo zibadde 3-1. Omupiira gubadde wali mu kisaawe eky'ebyafaayo e Nakivubo.
Tudifeniza bubi nga boyogedde because batutebyemu naye nga tujja kwongera okutereezaamu tujja kwongera okutraininga obulungi babbaka kimanyi bakochi balabye ensobi bajja kwongera okututereezaamu.
Bopoint sibangu era basajja bamanyi era ttiimu nga mugimanyi Ghana nsi ya mupiira eyo twali okubuusabuusa nabo era batuwuliddemu kimanyi naffe tujja kwongera okwetereeza bwe tunaddirayo mu Ghana tujja batukyusizaamu ne mu nsaba baana abalwadde bafajja babawonya.
Yeah, we can turn it around. We can easily beat Hippos in Ghana. That one they should be rest assured. We will beat them in Ghana.
Hippos ne Black Satellite bajja kuba baddingana mu sabbiiti ejja. Okuvaako e Tanzania, Young African ewangudde ekikopo kya Sekafa, ewangudde ttiimu eya Azam era nayo nga ye Tanzania. Munnayuganda Hamis Kiza y'omu ku batebedde Young okutuuka esobole okutuuka ku buwanguzi. Omuntu waffe abaddeyo ng'agoberera empaka zino okutuusa lunaku olwaleero lwe ziwedde, aliko byatuweereza. Ebyemizannyo kirabika bitunyudde obudde bugenze. Mwebale nnyo okulaba yonna gye musinzidde. NTV ku ssaawa emu bwetyo weegenze. Amawulire amalala gajja kuba gajja ku ssaawa 3 ebeera NTV Weekend Edition. Kaakati n'okutuusa olunaku lw'enkya, nze Frank Walisimbi. Musula bulungi.
This is NTV. This is NTV.
Kwene embeera y'abasajja bano
essuubi nga lyakuggwamu maama.
Bano abasajja bano abasajja abanaatera n'okujja kusigiriza ffe ekiro basituleko emiwumbo gy'emmere bagitwale.
Sogera byange kibanza bana bagambanga ne bagamba ne bweyagala nkubulira ebyange jja tugende emyanzi.
Mpulira abanyumya babeera bakujerega waliko omusawo w'ekinnansi. E South Africa baba bakujerega ebituufu.
Baba banjerega. Oyo mufere mubbi yennyini yeetaaga miggo.
Omuntu wa bulijjo tomuzannyirangako abeeranga dormant volcano.
Bwemba mukkiriza nina takuwa mugiyita
ate takuwa gobeera mugoberezi tolowooza nti muli mulimo gwonna oyogerera omusiraamu singa naakubuuza nti Katonda yagamba bw'ati yagamba atya.
Bw'oba oli pasita ng'okyawa olimba obba oyenda olina abakazi basatu, please, heaven is waiting for you. One day you'll pay and soon your time is out.
Otiisa mmoni.
Sitiisa nkubuulira Yesu talimba.
Ebintu mbimala mulundi gumu kati what is I love peace.
Gwokola byo.
Wegase n'omusajja mutwale mabi.
The Impala is very similar to the Cob, but are differentiated by the black middle of the lower back to the tail. Their slender larian-shaped horns are found only in males. The Impala weighs up to 80 kilograms with a shoulder height of 75 to 95 centimeters or 2.5 to 3.5 feet. Unlike other antelopes, Impalas have large brush-like tufts of long coarse black hair that cover a scent gland located just above the heel on each hind leg. Its remarkable leaps are the most well-known feature of the Impala's movement. Impalas inhabit grassland and woodland edges, usually very close by water. They feed on young shoots during the wet season and herbs and shrubs during the dry season and drink daily. The male impala are very territorial animals and fiercely guard their territory from challenging males through horn duels. They stand with erect posture, grab scent from face glands and make dung heaps to mark their territory. The females form herds of up to 50 or more and wander in and out of the male territories. If they start to leave the territory, the male tries to herd them back into the center. Bachelor males are allowed to remain in the male territories by the dominant male only if they ignore the females. But occasionally you will catch sight of one lone male impala which keeps close to the female herd and waits for an opportunity when the dominant male is preoccupied to mate with any of the females. The female impala reaches sexual maturity at 1 year and the male at 1.5. Gestation period is 6 to 7 months. In East Africa, young impalas are born all year round, but birth peaks usually coincide with the rains. The young are suckled for 4 to 6 months. The males will not be mature enough to hold a territory until they're 5 or 6 years old. Impala have a lifespan of 12 years.
This is NTV.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Men. As always, we are here to talk about all the kind of things that you need to know. And for those of you who had not known what was coming, today we're going to talk about something that's close to a lot of men. It is men's health. Our three musketeers are back. Now, I'm going to welcome Alex to the show. Alex, Dr. Alex. In fact, you know, we've had, over the last couple of weeks, we've had very many doctors here. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be here.
Great to have you. Good. Now, Alex, men's health, from a doctor's perspective, there are a lot of people who have issues. I mean, men's health is very wide, but we want to narrow it down to what a lot of people call performance. Impotence is a reality, yeah. Colin had a lot to say about that. Impotence is a reality. Impotence stroke low sperm count is a reality. And it's getting worse. What do you think is the cause of that?
Well, medically, maybe let me start with what impotence.
Yeah.
As you say, it's low sperm count, but actually, someone might actually attribute that to erectile dysfunction. Okay, that means a lack of an erection, or not being able to sustain one or to activate one.
Yeah.
So there might be also an attribute of maybe sperm count as well, but the main aspect is usually erectile dysfunction. Okay.
Activate star 100 hash.
Okay, so I mean, there are mechanisms that go on in a man's body, and these need to be really perfect for one to, as you say, perform well.
Yeah.
So blood flow is the main important thing in, you know, avoiding impotence.
Yeah.
As long as you have blood flow to your pelvis where the sexual organs are, then everything flows well. Okay.
So that's very interesting, because a lot of people have likened it to very many other things, like stress and stuff like that. So it's just about blood.
It's about blood flow because with the mechanism of getting or attaining an erection, there needs to be blood flow within the veins or the capillary system into the sexual organ.
Yeah.
Okay, which makes it, you know, build up and then get stiff and rise up. Okay, that's an erection. And for the blood flow to flow well, the vessels need to be intact. So there might be, you know, a number of things that, you know, might affect the blood vessels.
Okay.
A number of diseases. Number one is diabetes. That's the blood sugar going up. With time, if someone doesn't really control the blood sugar, it kind of affects the blood vessels, and that kind of makes them not be able to be elastic enough to expand when the blood flows in. So there's a bit of resistance when the blood flow comes into the penis, okay? So that may actually affect an erection coming up. And the second thing that you need to know is for blood flow to really flow in a relaxed way, it needs a certain kind of nervous system. We usually have two basic kinds of nervous system in our bodies. There's what they call the sympathetic, that's for, fight or flight, in case someone needs to really act quickly or is scared, or you look at a lion and you run away. Now that prevents an erection, okay?
No.
That kind of nervous system.
You see a lion and you get excited.
Okay.
Just asking.
I'm a sucker for danger. What can I say?
Then on the other hand, there's what they call the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the kind of system which is laid back, makes you laid back. When you need to go and maybe pass urine, you need to be laid back. If you're scared or you're nervous, it won't flow. Okay? Another thing is digestion. For the food to go down and be digested well, you need the parasympathetic nervous system. So it's a system that's turned on when you need to go slow, when you're sleeping. Okay, and that's the kind of system in the nervous system that makes the blood flow to all parts of the body, including the sexual organs in time of sexual intercourse. So that's when you really need that system. So if someone is nervous, the sympathetic nervous system is turned on. If you're thinking about things, you're thinking about maybe reports you have to hand in, or you're thinking about maybe bills you have to pay, you're using your sympathetic nervous system. So it will be difficult for one to attain an erection because the blood flow won't be
But then let me ask you then, how can a man then want to have sex but not get an erection? Because if as me, I want to, but then shouldn't that be enough for me?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there are physiological factors. Okay. Things that may be brought on by nature, as you may say it.
You're worried. Okay, go ahead.
You might want to. Okay. And actually, the best way is to actually let it come from your brain. As you say, if you want to, the initiative is from your brain. Okay. So the brain has a way it will now turn off the wrong nervous system and turn on the right one, okay?
Yeah.
But then the brain has done its part, okay? It said, okay, turn on this system. The blood is supposed to flow.
Yeah.
Now, if for any reason, let's say you've taken any kind of drugs, drugs can affect blood vessels, okay? There are different kinds of drugs, abusive drugs and prescribed drugs as well, okay? Marijuana is one of those known drugs which can affect the blood vessels. Cocaine also narrows the blood vessels, so the blood really finds it difficult to pass through the blood vessels if someone has taken a bit of cocaine. Alcohol might affect that. So if someone has actually taken excessive alcohol, it might actually affect the blood vessel. And you might actually have the initiative. The brain is saying, yes, go, but the blood can't flow there because something has blocked it, okay?
You mean like how the Bible says the spirit is willing?
Maybe something like
But
that,
the flesh
okay?
is weak. Oh, wait,
Okay.
sorry, it's limp.
So,
Joseph.
Thank you, Doctor. This is very interesting. Well, me, I've just read a few notes here and there, because I like to read about things. So about things, and that is one of the things that I try to read about. Not that I understand everything. So talking about blood flow and everything, you seem to be addressing getting an erection.
yes.
Performance here is sustaining one, for a certain period of time, and that seems to be okay. There's two problems: those who can't get
In
it
the
out,
first place,
in
yeah.
the first place, and then those who can.
It wavers.
Yeah. So I was reading somewhere that much as you might get the blood flowing into the pelvis, that's what you call it, right? Much as you might get flowing inside, it also flows out very quickly. So there's apparently an enzyme that is responsible for opening and closing the valves. When the blood flows in, then the valves are closed, so it does not flow out again. So you may have a deficiency when it comes to that enzyme. Actually, I think that is the basis for some of the performance drugs like Viagra and stuff. They they actually enhance the, I think it's called PD5 or PED5 or something like that.
Yes.
So the valves can actually stay closed for a while. So it actually, actually Viagra does not give you an erection. You might take it and not get an erection. Did you know that?
No, I do, because I've never tried it.
No, but
this is. I'll be honest with you. That is something that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people equate these performance enhancement drugs to guaranteed success. Is it, from your perspective as a doctor, is it a fact that does not happen?
Well, performance enhancing drugs, or whatever you want to call them, weren't meant for that. It might not really make you perform better, but it might help you attain the erection and maybe maintain it for a period of time. Because the mechanism, I don't want to complicate the mechanism of the way it works, but you're true, they work on certain receptors, but the main aspect involved here is they dilate the blood vessels. They make the blood vessels wider so they can welcome blood in and maintain the blood in the blood vessels. Okay? So we actually use them as well. They might be used even in heart problems. When someone gets a heart attack, that means the blood vessels going to the heart muscle are very narrow. So some patients actually may be prescribed Viagra, but for the heart, not for the penis, okay? We've seen patients like that, okay? So you might think, especially when you're working in an insurance company like AR, like I do, you might say, okay, no, we don't cover these because such a drug like Viagra won't be covered for performance enhancement, okay? But it will be covered for heart conditions, okay? Because we're looking after people's health. So Viagra can actually be used for the heart, and the main thing it does is widen the blood vessels. And performance enhancement, really just think about your physiology or your mechanisms. Like I said, the basic thing is turn on the right nervous system, okay? I know in school I used to have a professor, and he gave us a really good way of memorizing what the nervous systems are used for, okay? And especially for the reproductive system. The P stands for parasympathetic, okay, nervous system. And the S stands for sympathetic nervous system. So the P would also stand for putting it up, okay, that's an erection. That's what, I mean, believe it or not, this is a Cambridge professor saying this, okay, and the S is shooting it off. So if you turn on the S, then that's when you get the what's called the premature ejaculation, okay? So that's when really what the late Paul called performance enhancement is actually dampened with that system. So the main thing that someone needs to realize is just keeping a relaxed mood, okay? If you turn on the other system, then the performance in that area will be reduced, okay?
Wait, dude, you cannot even, you cannot have an erection and then say you have to be relaxed. It's like ironic, it's like two opposites in the same sentence. Because, well, that's just what I think. But I was going to say, when you talk about performance, I think that it is important to say that performance is both physiological, you know, in terms of getting it up, because that's the bare minimum. But then it's also aesthetic. You know, how you groom the garden to make sure it just delivers the highest standard quality of service.
You know, what I'm interested in is the psychological aspect, because I think more than anything, Peter had said it already, that you know, how does someone's psychology affect stress, and you touched on it a little bit, and I think that is where most people have issues, because you know, and perhaps women don't understand. A lot of times I think women will be like, oh, he doesn't want me anymore, he doesn't find me, he doesn't find me attractive, yes, he's rejecting me, he doesn't find me attractive anymore, you know. So what is it, what somebody needs to train themselves to relax more? How do you deal with those psychological issues? I know you said you're a GP and not a psychologist or psychiatrist, but I think that is probably the biggest issue that people have. And I think we spoke about it a little bit earlier on off camera, where we were saying, you know, the more anxious you become about the situation, the more you must be turning on the sympathetic.
Well, because we're just talking about what we were saying was, we were actually saying if it doesn't work, you know those times when you absolutely need to give a command performance and it doesn't work, it's not getting up. What do you do? Because you fan it and the fire won't come. And then and he was saying, and the jury was saying, the more anxious you become,
the worse it gets.
There's just total absence of results.
And just go to sleep, forget about it for a moment. Because you know when you're younger, you're under a lot of pressure.
Performance.
Because you want no, listen, you want to perform there and then.
Yeah.
So you become more anxious. The more it is not working, the more anxious you're becoming, and it only gets worse.
The truth be told, if you're in bed and you're trying to relax and sleep for an hour when your partner is there good and ready, I don't see how she's going to.
It's not fair.
You're defeating yourself because when you're more anxious, you're not going to do anything. So.
But you see, Peter is saying it's not fair to the woman who's good and ready and is just right for the taking.
There's very many times when you're good and ready.
I would like to get a medical perspective to that, but we'll have to get to that straight after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Men. We want to hear from you, especially from the men, about your erectile dysfunctions. What? So you can send us an SMS on 6565. Go to our Facebook page, like it. Okay, you may not be able to give us your comments there, but you can inbox us. We will take your feedback. Or you can send us a private email at men@ntvuganda.co.ug. We're here at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel. We'll be right back after this break. We're here on Men, discussing issues on men's health with special reference to low sperm count stroke impotence. Now, guys, during the break, we had a discussion. Now, I will get to the core of it, but
the core?
Yes, the core.
Heart, you mean?
Now, sexual performance is a big deal in a lot of relationships. It has made some relationships, it has broken others.
Yes.
Now, doctor, there's a huge psychological aspect. But the bottom line is there are a lot of men who just can't get it up. I'd like to know, and I saw with a lot of people out there, what can you do to fix that situation?
Okay, I think the first thing we need to do is really ascertain the main cause.
Yeah.
There are those who've never really from birth, have never had it functioning at all, okay?
But then they're okay.
That's one separate group, okay?
You can't miss what you don't know.
So there are those,
Yeah.
Then there are those who've ever had it working before, then later on sometime in life it keeps, going weaker, and then
fluctuating.
Eventually they can't do it, okay? So there are two groups, so we have to really investigate and find out what the reasons are.
Yeah.
There are different kinds of reasons for this, okay? Now, nervous problems can cause that because you need the nerves working well for this to work. People who've been involved in accidents, maybe a spinal, causing maybe the lower part of the spine to be paralyzed, okay?
Yeah.
Usually that's almost permanent damage, okay? So they may not ever have to,
Can performance enhancement drugs work for such people?
No.
As in you're finished?
Performance enhancement drugs work for the blood vessels, okay?
Okay.
And these are controlled by the nerves. If you need the blood vessel to widen, then you need the nerve to activate that. So when the nervous system down there is not working, then there is hardly anything we can do medically, all right? And then there are different other kinds of reasons when men approach, they may be their mid with age. So with those kind of men, problems start to come in, okay? Obesity is one of the factors. With obesity comes high blood pressure, okay, and diabetes. Those are risk factors, okay? Depression might come into effect because of what they call the midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Unachieved goals.
Yes, things like that.
Wives.
Yeah, with depression.
Rebellious wives.
Abusive wives. If women are telling you you're nothing, you can't even get it up, you eventually find that you can't get it up. It's a real issue.
Okay.
I mean, smokers,
Yeah.
Smoking also affects the blood vessels. It causes them to stiffen, okay? So they can't really widen. And then if someone gets involved in illicit drugs, those like marijuana, like I said, and also cocaine and the rest, those can also affect it. Alcohol consumption is another big factor. Excessive alcohol can also dampen the nervous system. So with time, let's say someone used to do well and then they gain a bit of weight, they start smoking, they start drinking, they start getting stressed because of too much work, depression, you know, because of maybe if there is a midlife crisis, and that can affect. And of course, with age, everyone with age starts going down. So stress can be, you know, solved with, you know, exercise. Exercise is good for the brain, okay? You kind of, you know, relax, put your mind away from things, do something relaxing, Go running, biking. You can do something that relaxes you.
But if I may say something, where biking is concerned, I read somewhere that that is also one of the causes of low sperm count. It's not advisable for men to be
You sit on the bike, but if you...
riding a bike,
If you're riding, well seated on it.
So you want to ride while standing?
Yeah, the guys who get up, and I don't know what that stroke is called, but they are not actually sitting.
Is that true?
I think it depends where you're reading things. We try and hear the basics, okay? Try to work from the basics, and really riding a bike isn't harmful to the sexual organs. But what I'll tell you, for the sperms to be produced, okay, they need a certain temperature below our body temperature. So I would say really, if someone is wearing tight clothing all the time, okay, then the temperature out down there is high, okay?
Joseph, that's an open warning to you.
So high temperature, you know, can also, you know, dampen the production of sperm. So a low sperm count may actually be accounted for.
Is that also things like the sauna and steam bath? Do they also?
No, not really, because the body has a mechanism. Even if really it's hot, you know, outside, there's a way the body will keep the temperature down in the pelvis, you know, at the normal range for sperm production. And then when you also have, what's it called? Some drugs can also affect the sperm count, okay? And but just a bike, or even trauma to the area won't necessarily cause the sperm count to go down.
So if you're
someone kicking you repeatedly in the nuts.
No, but you're talking about repeatedly now.
Man has issues.
Those things hide.
Are these things that have happened to you? The issue of the psychology of it, and you know, from a married person's perspective, you know, what do you do as you find that every once in a while it will happen, whether it's stress from work or whatever. And you know, we spoke a little bit earlier on about what you do. You just go to sleep and leave your significant other hanging. And again, I'll bring the issue that I've brought before: stay interesting and interested. And if as a couple you know how to explore each other, there are ways to deal with it. To deal with it when things are not functioning. It doesn't need to die with the erection, so to speak.
Joseph,
Here I want to talk about real healthy people, but for some reason things are not going as well
as they could.
As they could. And I just want to appeal to the women that you can help your man. And I'm going to be a little graphic here, and use some numbers and stuff, because we're talking about performance. But if we just do performance analysis, we just go into a little deeper. There's days when your man can actually, when you guys can dance 2 Lingala songs, that could be like
20 minutes.
14 to 20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes. And then there's times when that is not going to happen. Maybe you can go back and ask yourself. And then we go back to the nature of the man and the nature of the woman. The nature of the woman is such that they start slowly. And then get into it. Whereas the man actually starts to work on you as soon as they have got it up.
Which is usually instant.
I mean, they get it up and then they start to work on you. So you can imagine the man's performance has started. Here, you're not yet ready. So you can imagine if both of you go for 15 minutes, it means the man's 15 minutes have started while you haven't started. So if it takes you 10 minutes, it means by the time the man is there, it's 5. But now, we talked about this before. If ladies can start to initiate some of these things, it means it lengthens the man's time and reduces yours, and maybe you can get there at the same time, and I think it will be better.
But you know, it's just quite shocking, really. You know, when you come from one Lingala, two Lingala songs, and you end up as a Westlife track, which is 2 minutes and
3.25
2 minutes and 25 seconds. You know, it's quite very
traumatizing.
It's quite traumatizing, and also because. Go ahead. See, we've talked about impotence and erectile dysfunction, but performance also encompasses. You can be able to get direction. You may be able to keep the blood in there and sustain it, but it just goes for a short time. And it's a problem because, the thing about the act of sex, it's a contract. Almost. Because
you have to deliver.
You promise that you will deliver.
So you better
too early. You can't deliver too early. You have to deliver
on time.
That's part of delivery when you deliver.
Yes. And so I think that's an issue, and that's something.
But there was something which Ransom said. He mentioned even during the break that, you see, the truth be told, and I think the doctor can clarify that, you cannot be at 100% all the time. It can't happen. There are very many other factors, external factors, like work, you've got stress, you've got play. Other people are just playing in too many fields, like Colin.
There isn't enough to go around.
So there isn't enough to go around. We are not before the show. The Joseph called it. They called it signing invoices. It says, you've already paid one invoice, then you go home and you're expected to pay another. He said it affects the cash flow. Now, of satisfying a woman, if I may just bluntly put it, it does not have to be through direct intercourse. There are other ways, okay, and we have to just say it as it is. That's why we're here.
That's just the truth.
That's why I was shaking my head. Colin was saying, "Why are you shaking your head?" But it's because of that exactly. And I was saying during the break that, when anybody that has been married for an extended period of time, more than 5 years, you sort of get to know someone's repertoire. And it can get boring. It's true, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You have to stay interesting and interested. So you have to find ways to spice things up. So at that time, when things just aren't working, you can't be caught short and say, okay, that's the only tool that I have. So to give examples, for example, if you're given tools and even when it's functioning, you need to be able to play these games with your friend, with your wife. You are given your right hand. There's nothing else you have as a tool. For example, what would you do with it, and how much pleasure can you bring to your wife with just your right hand? Not even your right and left hand, but your right hand. And does your left hand do anything better than the right hand, for example? These are things that you have to think about. Because if you explore that, and you can actually get someone there with that, then you can have your 2 minutes.
Okay.
Because that will be the icing to the cake.
Now, that's one problem you're addressing. You want, but for some reason, other tools are not working. You find the tool that works. But what if the problem is boredom? You actually don't want. You can't even get your hand up. Isn't that part of the problem? You're that bored.
Why are you there in the first place?
Listen.
Some things are obligations.
Listen. They are obligations. But I'm telling you, there's times when when people just don't want. Let me sleep.
Yeah.
Let me sleep. You don't want to use any other tools.
But that's very selfish.
No, it's not, Peter. Listen, what happens is there are times when you just don't want.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
You don't want to use any other tools.
The problem occurs when it's 6 days out of 7
when you don't want.
Then there's a problem. But once every so often, that is the most natural thing to happen.
But you see, I think that Ransom was talking about when you're caught, dead in the water. if I may borrow the expression, it helps to have an extra range of skill sets, you know, just like, you know, how to use your tongue, you know, just to amplify the amount of pleasure that's brought to the table. Because the truth is, and to quote Peter's term, in reality, truth be told, there isn't a lot of good head out there, man. There isn't a lot of good oral sex. And yet if explored, it would be such a strong alternative. What, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
But it's such a strong alternative to penetrative.
It's not either or.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm saying developing that extra skill set makes you that much more better at pleasing your partner.
But the thing is this. If you're going to develop it, then you have to do it actively, deliberately. And the way that you do it is in conjunction with your partner.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
That's the thing. Like I said, if you are there and you say, okay, you don't have your hands, you don't have your toes if you use those, but you've got your tongue. That's it. See what you can do. That's how you develop that skill set, and that's how you find the things that make somebody, you know.
We have to get into a break. You've heard it. We are dealing with issues concerning men's health with special reference to low sperm count, which definitely affects performance. We're here at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel, and we want to hear from you. Don't forget to SMS us with your feedback, and also send us an email. I'm not going to ask you to go to our Facebook page for this, but you can inbox us at NTV Men, or just send us a private email at men@ntvuganda.co.ug. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back from the break. We're here at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel discussing men's health with special reference to erectile dysfunctions. Gentlemen, before we went into the break, a lot of things were said. One of the things that's definitely coming out is it is not wrong to have an erectile dysfunction. These things happen. And if you do have it, for whatever reason, Colin, don't look so shocked. There's hope for you.
Peter, I'm the only one here who cannot possibly
have it.
Dude, I'm like the right age. I'm like...
That's why it's more important. There are a lot of people your age who are suffering. But Mr. Superman.
Even him. Every confesses, it happens more often in the end.
Yeah. Slowly but surely. So
okay, you're right.
So there are other ways of pleasuring your partner. There are other ways of getting her to where she needs to be. Joseph did mention that with men, they start immediately. And so if you're a 15-minute man and your woman takes 15 minutes, well, you're bound to be to have a head start. You'll be in pole position in this case. However, definitely there are other ways of doing that. Now, from a medical perspective, doctor, what can men do to stay healthy and also reduce their chances of getting erectile dysfunctions?
Well, the first thing really, let's reduce the stress, okay? The stress needs to be brought down, and if someone works under...
The women out there who are watching, go easy. Don't stress your man and expect him to give you sex. It's not going to happen. Okay,
so I would advise the men not to work like it's a demand, okay? There are people who are working on demand like they have to perform and everything. I mean, take it easy, because once you do that, then you'll kick off the sympathetic nervous system if you think you have to perform.
You mean work in the office or...
At home.
You mean at home in the bedroom?
Don't perform like it's a job.
Yeah, don't put yourself under pressure.
Don't make it look like it's a duty, okay? It's something which is between two people, okay?
Alex, have you ever given a command performance?
I'm sorry?
Please go ahead.
Command performance. A command performance is when you absolutely have to give a stellar presentation. I can tell you for a fact, there is pressure.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying. There shouldn't be pressure, okay?
Normally, a command... Maybe they're very few
Alex,
and happy
just let Alex finish first. Just Alex finish. Let Alex finish.
Okay, so number one, the stress has to calm down, okay? By all means. Otherwise, if you're healthy and everything, and the stress is there, you won't do well, okay? And then eat well, okay? Because the obesity, like I said, brings about the diabetes, high blood pressure, the blood vessels are destroyed, and then you get the problem. Okay, and try and do exercise. Exercise helps to relax, okay? it helps the blood flow to keep going to all body parts well. All right? And then I think one of the things that really might be affecting the relationships, I think a relationship shouldn't be based on sexual performance, okay? There are other things that you can do with your partners, okay? Because it's not to say that if that area is not functional, then the whole marriage is gone, okay? Because there are people, I mean, there are partners actually who do it, eh? You find one is working, maybe or studying abroad for 3 years, one has stayed, and they're faithful to each other, okay?
It reminds me of a couple of weeks ago when it was raining.
Let him finish first.
No, and weird people ended up starting in pole position in the Formula 1 track. You know, Alonso wasn't starting, Hamilton was in 16.
So another thing is avoid things that will destroy this area, okay? Things like I said, if you eat healthy, you live healthy, exercise.
Like when you talk about eating healthy, because I think that's one key part that is within a lot of people's control.
Yeah.
What kind of foods would you expect? Yesterday evening, I was with a fellow who claimed that he's all right. I quote him, he said that his minimum performance time is 1 hour 15 minutes. And he said, and reason being, he said all he needs is mulondo, water, and groundnuts. And he says he buys his mulondo, he spends 1,000 shillings, he gets 6 sticks, but he only needs 1 stick. He buys groundnuts worth 2,000 shillings and a bottle of water. So he says on a budget of exactly 3,000 shillings, his performance is way through the roof.
Peter.
So I just what's for me? So I wanted to find out what foods can people eat to sustain
now
the erections.
I cannot dispute or confirm what your colleague said or anything, but what I mean here is a balanced diet. Okay, in medical terms. Okay, that's a bit of protein, a bit of carbohydrates, a bit of vitamins. That's with the vegetables and fruits. And then you're good. And we don't really need carbohydrates in such big amounts. We need mainly the protein and, the vegetables and for the vitamins. Vitamin E is known to be good for the reproductive system. At least studies in rats have shown that it helps, the reproductive system in the mammals.
Rats come in 30 seconds.
So as long as you have a balanced diet and you're keeping your weight, well, you're keeping fit, and then really that's a healthy way to eat, okay?
Are there any specific foods, like people talk about pumpkin seeds, others talk about watermelon seeds, anything like that?
I don't have anything really medically proven to, I mean, there might be some things culturally taken, but medically I have nothing to tell you that, this kind of food will help your performance or anything like that, okay?
Yeah.
I'll just recommend a balanced diet, eat well and live healthily, okay?
Yeah.
I want to dispute Peter, and sorry, I was trying to say this. There's so many guys who are talking about esteem here, who have esteem issues that they think they have to hype their performance. I mean, you are not there or anything. Well, I'm going to dispute on this basis. One, even if you can get an erection for that long, do you have the back for it?
Do you have an extra spinal cord, you mean?
Exactly. That's one. Two, do you have them lined in a row that 15 minutes for this one, then, because I don't know, who are you
pounding like
that?
Who
are you pounding like that for 1 hour 15 minutes? Okay, maybe there are also people who,
like women
who go that long. Yeah, because I mean, you're burning someone here. But I've had those stories, and those are the things that actually get us to be anxious.
Exactly.
Yeah? And which cause pressure, and I think for me I appeal to the ladies, to partners. Like Ransom always says, we are not Superman or we are not Salvador. Please don't put men under pressure. A lot of the time they won't function because they're under pressure. If you find someone who hasn't gotten over the fact that it's normal sometimes to go
to be 2 minutes.
Or to not to dot an I or cross a T in a proposal, and you think every time a proposal has to be perfect. I mean, this is where you're going to put someone under pressure and they'll be on and perform.
Yeah, and I think it's also important for the ladies to understand that it doesn't mean that someone is attracted to someone else, or it's not rejection. When it happens, and you need to take it as such, because if you don't, if you make a big deal about it, it creates more anxiety the next time. That's when you find somebody now starting to back off, and if you stress them about it even more, what happens is then you start getting a knock-on effect or spiraling effect.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that your men don't love you. It doesn't mean that it will always be like that.
Yeah, it's the difference.
But I think we need to get statistics, I mean, of really where do the demands come from, because usually it's known that between a man and a woman, the pressure usually, or the demand for sex usually comes from the men. Okay, so it might be worth getting the statistics that how many men are being bullied or anything like that for to perform, because if there are any, I feel the number may be, low, because I really feel the demand usually may come from the men, okay? Because if you look at women, I feel really there are less women who cheat than guys.
I don't know that. I hear what you're saying, but you see, I think the demand is reverse. It's kind of like reverse psychology. The pressure is on the guy to perform, because if he doesn't in any sexual encounter, he will be labeled a beeper.
Yeah, and
you guys, we are out of time.
What causes
so
that?
Joseph, this is going to be your parting shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be a long one. One, you talked about beeping, and to relate it to what he just said, a man puts demands on the woman. So during that period, for him, is erected. He's putting pressure. The woman has refused. By the time she says yes, this man has run out of airtime. and can only be. So maybe if we do this together, yeah. But also if we go back, I still insist that in a relationship we are in this together. So it should be pleasurable to both of us, because I'm sure there's times when the lady wants and you do not want. But once they manage to turn you on, then you can probably give a performance. You can go the whole way. It does not matter whether it is 5 minutes, because the lady could also be in 5 minutes. It's just synchronization. Because if you ask me, I think there are some people who go further than others. It doesn't have to be the same time. So, and some people have more experience than others.
Colin, your parting shots.
Peter.
It's getting hot in here.
Yes, it's, just carrying on from what Joseph said. Some people are different from others. Some people are donkeys, other people are rats, as he said. We're all different. We're gifted differently.
Yes.
And because of that, I think it goes back to, you got to know your partner. You got to know. I mean, and from experience, once you've been with someone for a while, you know what works for them. And when you have experience scares, and I call these scares because I'm not yet frail. It'll one day it'll become a reality, but scares.
Yeah.
I think that the way to go.
You'll be shocked, man.
It'll be. When you have scares like this, the way is to then work around alternatives, and I think it's because of like that, because the cultures and the systems where we've been raised have allowed our women traditionally to support us, and I must say, some women are groomed to be really supportive. They have the whole hot towel, and they have the whole like cheerleader effect, and so I think it's exploring all those tools.
But which a few weeks ago we agreed can be.
Tools to the fore in order to give a stellar performance, because unlike these guys, I don't believe that performance should fluctuate every time, whether it doesn't matter how you achieve it. If you have to buy electronic gadgets, buy something, bust a move, but always deliver the stellar performance.
All right, great stuff. Doctor, your parting shots.
Well, like I've said really before, just live healthily, eat healthily, and I wouldn't advise diverting your intentions when one knows the problem. Like, for example, using other means or anything like that. If one has a problem, I think they should seek medical advice, okay? before, you know, getting into these kind of gadgets and tools, because I feel that will just, you know, perpetuate any immorality around and actually encourage, you know, people to go around looking for other alternatives. So I feel we should solve the problem where it is before getting other alternatives. But I think when one lives healthily and gets healthy, then I mean, these problems can actually be avoided.
Great stuff. Ransom.
I think for me, I think it's important for people, men and women alike, to realize that, you know, for as long as it's not a consistent problem, then these things happen. You know, someone will beep. Someone
will run out of airtime every once in a while.
Someone will run out of airtime every once in a while. Someone will activate the sympathetic instead of the other one. Parasympathetic. You know,
turn on the wrong button.
It doesn't mean that the guy doesn't love you. It doesn't mean that you know, he's looking at the neighbor's wife or anything like that. That's just how it is. And given to perform in a situation like that will probably perpetuate and worsen the situation. That said, when it does happen, it shouldn't be the be all and end all of it and say, well, that's it, because that is not what sex is about. Sex is multifaceted, and like I said, if you're staying interested and interesting, then you will find other ways, like your right hand or your left hand, to
deliver
your elbow, whatever, you know. So
great stuff.
That's how it is.
All right, Doctor, it's been great having you here. Today has been, I think I was actually dressed inappropriately. The two gentlemen without jackets are the ones who knew what we were in for. But it's been great having you. I just want to say thank you. You've heard it all for the guys out there who have had or have erectile dysfunctions. It's not the end of the world. You can deal with it. And I'll advise you to also advise your partners not to put pressure on you.
Is it genetic?
It can be. That's also something which I think we will have to talk about some other time. But it can be. But either way, if you think you have a problem, for goodness sake, see your doctor. Don't take it upon yourself by chewing mulondo and groundnuts and expecting a stellar performance. Have a good night. This is Men, and we're at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel. Wishing you a great night. See you next week.
This is NTV.
Welcome to the Art and Design Show. Coming up, we meet Uganda's inspirational veteran. And we'll sing to the tune of Uganda's ballroom dancing wizard. An accomplished watercolorist and oil painter renowned for his realism initially made his mark as a scrimshaw artist. Taga's talent and skills range from pieces of intricate detail to more emotional, realistic and impressive works.
I'm a realist and I use watercolor, I use oil, I use acrylic, I do pen and ink. Yeah, I've taken deep interest in watercolor for one reason that although it's so difficult to handle, once you learn how to handle it, it takes a short time to produce work. So that's one of the reasons why I like it. The other reason is it gives you good accidents. Every piece is an experiment, is a new experience. You don't get tired working in the studio. That's the other thing. And then sometimes it gives you amazing surprises, you know, what you never expected to produce. I was an abstract artist for a long time, but I reached a point and I could not answer certain questions. You look at a painting, someone asks you, what's this? You are the author and you say, I don't know. It is quite embarrassing. So I wanted to do something that I understand, and I wanted to do something that the public understands.
Amongst his vast collection, Taga's designs, mostly of primates and moths, have appeared on Ugandan stamps.
I did that, and many people have used that, but they definitely don't know the author, which makes me comfortable.
The spectacularly thick layering of oil paint adds a vivid three-dimensional texture and brings the paintings to life.
It's the eye, you know? I may start with these other shapes to get my proportions right, but when the actual work starts, I have to get my eyes right. The reason I paint gorillas is simply because I never used to paint wildlife, and gorillas are kind of close cousins to the human race. And because of the fact that I was doing the human figure a lot, I was kind of attracted by that primate, which I painted a number of times, and then it introduced me to the other broad spectrum of wildlife. The sheer size of an elephant is, I mean, it blows your imagination. It's so big. That attracts you as an artist. And the texture on an elephant, you know, you are painting an elephant, it's almost a religious experience. You have to sit there and do all the textures on it. When I'm painting birds, it's their majestic, you know, expressions, it's their majestic dynamism when they are flying or when they are landing, or when all that drama attracts me to paint them. And in doing so, they exude so much beauty that many times I miss in my paintings, because you always miss the point. You always don't capture that. Many people say that, why don't you use a camera? Yes, it's actually easier to draw from life a bird than to use a camera, because many times you go out in the field to photograph a bird. You end up with beautiful branches, because the moment you clicked, the bird moved off. I observe these birds and I make what we call quick sketches, and then I also back them up with, you know, photographs. Then I go in the studio and then paint. There's a big problem when you are painting in the field. Sometimes your easel won't be able to balance. Sometimes the wind, you are going to be in the middle of painting and then the wind blows off the drawing board. It's a bit tricky.
Driven to understand the complex relationship between man and nature, Taga's art reflects the confidence and idealism in all of us.
I use my imagination basing on what I see. So I do not do spiritual art. No, I don't do that kind of thing. I am a realist, dead realist, realist. So that's the kind of, I see something small and I, you know, create something big out of it.
Taga's fascination of the human form and wildlife are characteristic of his canvases, and as such, his choice of Black Madonna and Child is a recurrent theme.
The African woman endures a lot of hardship. I know so many people know that, but I would also want to record it. I would also want to show it from an artistic standpoint.
For Taga, however, his inspiration was not a matter of studies alone, but lineage as well. His grandmother was an accomplished artist.
My grandmother was an artist, and when I was very little, she used to show me what she used to produce. And I started then to learn to draw and, you know, imitate the things that she was doing. The biggest challenge in art is the fact that you don't have a boss. You don't have a boss, so you don't have something to get you out of that bed. You don't have something to take you back home. You are, you know, you live a bohemian lifestyle, too free. You know, you are liberated, but are you ready for that liberation? Maybe not.
His pieces have showcased in national parks nationwide and adorn many private collections.
I usually come home and do a bit of planting of stuff. My son loves football. I'm not a great fan of football, but because my son loves it, Joe, I go and play football with him or ride bikes in the evening. The one message I send out there to all the artists who might view this is that they are free, but they have to use their freedom with caution.
For Taga, the sky continues to be the limit. Weaving using plant fiber in Africa can be traced as far back as 4000 BC, way before weaving of cotton was introduced. Plant fibers such as millet stalks, grass, sisal was used. Weaving or more sets of fiber or yarns such that they cross each other normally at right angles. This is accomplished with a hand or power-operated loom. Here in Uganda, most weaving is done by women, and the products range from baskets to mats, hats, bags, wall hangings, and much more. These handicrafts are made from renewable natural fibers and dyes.
Emikeka tugiruka mu nsansa nyabo. Ensansa tuzigula mu wino oba kaleerwe. Naye nga bwe tuba
palm leaves that we purchase from markets locally, and we color them using natural dyes because our clients prefer natural to artificial dyes.
Herbs zino okumixinga eddagala lino natural colors ze tusinga okukozesa kubanga gye tutunda ebintu bino tebaagala colors za enzungu.
Rita explains the process of making a mat.
Omukeeka kati design tubana nnyingi.
For the mats, we have several designs. After splitting the palm leaves, we crisscross them into the desired designs. We continue interlacing them until it lengthens. We roll it and then sew it together.
Ekibbo tukiruka n'obuso oba n'enjulu nga osooka kuzinga kakeedo.
The process of making a basket is different. It starts with making a knot and working your way up, mixing colored straws to the very top.
Kano akatoba akatono n'ogenda ng'otandika akatoba ako mpola nga kagenda keezinga nga keetooloola. Kati bw'oba oyagala kuluka kibbo kyakuweta wano oba otuuse okuweta ng'oweta okufaanana nga kino.
These unique lidded baskets are made from millet stalks and raffia woven in rich natural colors depicting the African arc. They can be used for storing jewelry and trinkets. Traditionally though, these baskets in a larger version were used to serve food, more precisely millet bread. Nature deep bowls not too different from lidded baskets can be used to hold plant pots. Traditionally, they were used to serve food and flour. In consultation with nature, these beautiful products are made using the grasses from the neighborhoods of rainforests abundant in Uganda. Today on The Flare, we meet ambitious young fashion designers in the industry. Christine and Caroline ventured into fashion designing soon after university and have never looked back.
I did fashion as a course in Makerere University, Margaret Royal School of Industrial Fine Art. And after like 2 months from school, we started up a fashion house here with my partner.
Caroline gets her inspiration from everything she sees around her. However, she is quick to add that it's a combination of passion, imagination, and her creativity.
I get inspirations. While we were still in school, we were taught how to get inspiration modes, yeah? So you could get like something natural, a flower or something, or a leaf or something, and then you draw out of it. However, that used to work for courseworks. But now it's not like a general rule that I have to get a mood or something. I like Valentino. He does outstanding designs. They could not be really outstanding, but the finishing, the touch of decorating them. He does his beadwork. One time I watched he was doing it by hand. You know, people don't sleep, and these very old women, they do it perfectly. So comes to stage, it's really, I don't know.
Fashion designing and blending is not as easy as it may seem. It boils down to a mixture of questions and feelings. What fabric? What?
I should say we were on pressure. It was a competition. It was a students' fashion competition. And we were all fighting for bronze, gold, and whatever, yeah? So really, we all fought to do what's best. And we were all winners there, I think, that day. I learned aggressiveness. Fashion designer has to be aggressive. Dressing a model is not easy. Showcasing a design is not easy. And someone actually liking what you've made is not easy. Many people like going to fashion shows and finding things that are outrageous.
A distinctive character of modern day fashion remains its functionality.
Me, I believe in making things that a person will actually love to wear. Something that will go, not something that will stay in frames.
Here's the linen.
We use all kinds of materials. We use chiffon. We actually mostly would want to promote African fabric. We use African fabric, waxed or cotton.
Caroline and Christine stay focused and eager to seriously venture into the Ugandan fashion scene and continue to contribute to its development. If age is nothing but a number, then 82-year-old Christopher Kato is a true embodiment of youthful grace. Watching him glide gracefully across the floor exemplifies the nature of ballroom.
Ekyansikiriza kyali ekintu kimu ku baali nga bakatandika okuleeta bu sinema obwabeeranga mu buli kitundu kubanga tetulina bwasooka kubeera bwa mu motoka buli kyalo nga bagenda balaga.
When films had just been introduced in Uganda, I was attracted to the cowboy dances in them. I slowly started imitating them and practiced in my own way, and eventually learned them. The return of World War II veterans also gave me a boost because they had an idea of the dance, and I learned from them as well.
The word ballroom denotes a room where balls were held, that is, formal social dances. Balls were important social events in the days before radio and television. The word ball comes from the Latin word ballare, meaning to dance.
Mtambulidde mu ngeri yange yakwewagula bwewaguzi era olwokuba nti wana amazina baali tebagatwalanga ekikulu naye nazinanga mu bwe nafunamu ku ssente bwange.
Time didn't appreciate ballroom dancing. However, from the little money I made, friends advised me to try my talent abroad, and I did. The funniest thing is that I did not speak any English, but somehow got around easily because of my talent. I also acquired some books from Alex Moore School of Dance, which I returned with and further enhanced my skills.
Ballroom. Ballroom waltz.
I teach ballroom dances like waltz, foxtrot, quickstep, tango, Viennese waltz, and Latino, which is a dance from the Latina countries.
Mo Brazil mo mazina
dance is like a game and keeps one physically fit. It's an exercise that one does while enjoying the music. It's one of the best exercises. If you haven't gone to the gym, gone swimming, or otherwise, please go and dance.
These standard ballroom dances have diverse origins, rhythms, and tempos with one commonality. They are all danced by a couple, a man and lady, in a close hand formation. Kato has been a coach and mentor to numerous people within the corporate class as well as countless social dancers since the early 1990s. He welcomes people from all walks of life regardless of shape, size, or ability to his classes. His broad experience in both dance and advanced learning techniques makes his methods of instruction innovative, easy, and fun. So if you're ready to learn some dance and bring a little grace into your life, ballroom is definitely the way to go. And finally, the Reds African Fashion Design Awards in Uganda. The competitors included 3 established designers and 7 novices, out of whom the judges chose 2 winners from each category. Here are the highlights of the awards.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to Elizabeth.
I think the thing is to look at Africa and Uganda, because Africa is the future of fashion.
As you can imagine, it was hard creating things and then cutting them up and making them and then making sure they're perfect and, you know, putting them together. It was really hard. Then you get all the nervous tension and being backstage and all. But I'm so excited.
That's it for this edition of Art and Design. Remember, an artist must possess nature. He must identify himself with the rhythm so as to express himself in his own language. Join us next week for more. Until then, enjoy the rest of your viewing.
This is NTV.
The mountain gorilla is considered endangered species, with only about 720 mountain gorillas left in the world. And these live within 4 national parks split into 2 regions: Bwindi Impenetrable Forest National Park, Mahinga Gorilla National Park in Uganda, Volcanoes National Park in Rwanda, and Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The gorilla is the largest of all living primates and has a robust build with long muscular arms, a massive chest, and broad hands and feet. It has longer and darker hair than other species, allowing it to live and travel at high altitudes where temperatures drop to below 0 degrees Celsius. The gorillas can be identified by nose prints unique to each individual. Male mountain gorillas stand up to an average height of 6 feet and weigh from 400 to 500 pounds, that is 227 kilograms, making them the largest of the great apes. Called silverbacks because they develop a streak of silver hair on their backs with maturity. The silverback is the leader and the ultimate protector of his band. The mountain gorilla is most active between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Most of this time is alternated between foraging, eating, and resting. They are herbivores and consume large amounts of vegetation. Adult males can eat up to 34 kilograms of vegetation a day, while a female can eat as much as 18 kilograms. Females reach breeding age at about 10 years old. They typically bear young every 4 to 5 years, giving birth after a gestation period of 8 to 9 months. The mountain gorilla is generally shy but highly social and lives in relatively stable, cohesive groups of up to 35 individuals. These groups are made up of 1 silverback, 1 or 2 blackbacks, a few mature female juveniles, and infants.
the second most endangered giraffe subspecies with only a few hundred members. All of those that are living in the wild are in protected areas in Uganda and Kenya. The red-striped giraffe have the basic appearance of other giraffe subspecies, long-legged, a long-leg with 7 elongated vertebrae, and a leopard-like croak. The base of the neck has spines that project upward and fall behind over the shoulders. They have ankle muscles that hold the neck upright. But they are taller, measuring up to 6 meters, ranking as the tallest of their mammals, with an adult male weighing up to 2,000 kilograms. A giraffe's heart can weigh and measure about 60 centimeters in length. This is the only subspecies to be born with 5 horns. 2 of these are horns on the top of the head, in common with all giraffes. The third horn can be often seen in the center of the giraffe's forehead, and the other 2 behind his ear. Giraffes can inhabit savannas, grasslands, or open woodlands. They are herbivorous, preferring areas enriched with acacia growth. Their long legs are used to browse through leaves and break large quantities of water. As a result, they can spend long periods of time in dry, arid areas without drinking. A giraffe can eat 63 kilograms of leaves in plants daily. Giraffes have first to reach their flat paws, so their paw needs to travel all the way up their neck. They are sociable, tolerant animals, with the female giraffes living in groups of a dozen or so members, including calves. Younger males tend to live in backyard herds with older males often leading solitary lives. Unlike most mammals, giraffes work using both legs and the same side of the body simultaneously. Giraffes can move speeds of 30 to 36 miles per hour. The red-striped giraffes have a life expectancy of 20 to 30 years.
With a body weight of up to 2 tons, the hippopotamus rivals the white rhinoceros as the second largest living land animal. It averages 3.5 meters long and 1.5 meters tall at the shoulder. Its name means river horse and it's semi-aquatic, inhabiting rivers and lakes in the grassland portions of sub-Saharan Africa. The hippopotamus is recognizable for its enormous barrel-shaped hairless body, big broad head and stubby legs. Even though it's a bulky animal, a hippo runs at 30 miles per hour. It's brownish grey on top with a light pink color underneath. The hippopotamus has its ears, nose and eyes positioned on top of its head so it can remain submerged and still monitor what's going on around it. A hippo spends most of its day lazing in the water with its top exposed and occasionally basking on a sandbar. When it submerges, it closes its nostrils and ears so water won't get in. It emerges every 4 to 6 minutes to breathe. The process of surfacing and breathing is automatic, and even a hippo sleeping underwater will rise and breathe without waking. Hippopotami live in herds with the largest pods of up to 100 animals, with one dominant male presiding over a stretch of the river. The hippopotamus is herbivorous and nocturnal. It comes out of the water at night to graze and can eat up to 68 kilograms of vegetation in one night. Female hippos reach reproductive prime at 5 to 6 years of age, while males at around 7.5 years. Mating takes place in the water, with the female submerged for most of the encounter. Hippos have a gestation period of 8 months. The female hippopotamus will go off by herself to have her calf. She will then stay away from the herd for anywhere from 10 to 44 days. A hippo's lifespan is typically 40 to 50 years.
This is NTV.
Forever, he does not change. He is and those who strive with you witch who has been fighting you will look at you. Fear not! God doesn't like cowards. He wants believers. He does not change. And those who strive with you shall perish. I pray that witch who has been fighting you will look at you. Fear not! God doesn't like cowards. He wants believers.
Just walk. Pick up your legs. Pick up your legs. Pick up your legs.
To be honest, it's one of the most scary genres of music for me. For me every day. Irifemasi nisu tadi magero.
This is NTV.
A very good evening to you and a warm welcome to Saturday's NTV Weekend Edition, this 28th day of July 2012. Tonight, Ugandan health officials say the deadly Ebola virus has killed 14 people in Chibale district this month. Uganda has in the past suffered devastating Ebola outbreaks, such as in 2000 when 224 people died. So this time round, we are seeking your views on what lessons can be learned. Be sure to have your say in tonight's NTV Weekend poll. And don't go anywhere this Saturday evening. That's starting right now with tonight's main headlines. Ugandan health officials say the deadly Ebola virus has killed 14 people in western Uganda this month.
I am Chris Ochamringa with the story of the pressure that donors are putting on the Rwandan government over its alleged involvement in the conflict in the DRC.
I am Florence Naliba to bring you a story of a little boy who was saved with an education scholarship from begging on the streets of Moroto.
Uganda Hippos have had a perfect start against Ghana in the Under-20 Africa qualifiers. Join me, Alfredo Dong, for the details of that story.
Once again, welcome to NTV Weekend Edition. I am Josephine Karunji. Ugandan health officials say the deadly Ebola virus has killed 14 people in western Uganda this month. The officials and a World Health Organization representative told a news conference in Kampala today that there is an outbreak of Ebola in the country. Ebola, which manifests itself as a hemorrhagic fever, is highly infectious and kills quickly. It was first reported in 1976 in Congo and is named after the river where it was first detected. There is currently no cure or vaccine for Ebola, and in Uganda, where in 2000 the disease killed 224 people, it resurrects terrible memories. Irene Namialo has our top story tonight.
Since the 11th of July, when Chibale health officials reported a strange disease from one of their sub-counties, the Ministry of Health embarked on investigations in order to establish the cause of the mysterious disease. 3 samples were taken from the deceased and tests were conducted at the Uganda Virus Research Institute in Entebbe. Well, today the Ministry of Health has a confirmed report
that there is an outbreak of Ebola hemorrhagic fever
in Chibale district, which is located in midwestern Uganda.
So far, the highly infectious disease has claimed 14 lives, the most recent being this 4-month-old baby, understood to be a daughter to a clinical officer who also succumbed to Ebola 1 week ago. On that note, the Ministry of Health, working alongside a team of experts from the World Health Organization and Center for Disease Control, is already on the ground in Kibale, trying to control the situation and sensitizing people to be alert.
Active and sustained tracing and listing of all possible contacts that were exposed to the suspected and confirmed cases is taking place since the 6th of July of this year.
Scientists still don't know the source of the virus, but they suspect the first victim in an Ebola outbreak was infected through contact with an infected animal, such as a monkey. Ebola presents with a high-grade fever and bleeding tendencies. It is very infectious and can cause death within a short time, but can also be easily prevented. Its signs and symptoms include fever, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, headache, measles-like rash, red eyes, and sometimes bleeding from body openings.
And as you might have been aware, we've been having cholera in the Chibale district. And so when a disease of this nature comes in such a situation, it might not be easily identified.
It can be spread through direct physical contact with body fluids like saliva, blood, stool, vomit, urine and sweat from an infected person, and soiled linen used by an infected person. It can also be spread through skin-piercing instruments that have been used by an infected person. One can also get it by getting in touch with the body of a person who has died of the disease. This is not the first time Uganda is getting an Ebola outbreak. In 2000, there was a serious outbreak in Gulu that affected over 400 people and 224 died. In 2007, there was another outbreak in Mundihujo and over 100 people contracted the disease, 37 dying. That is why action has to be taken very fast. Irene Namialo, NTV.
Thank you, Irene. That definitely is a call to caution. It is on that issue that we engage you tonight in our NTV Weekend Poll. And tonight we are asking what lessons can be learned this time round following the major outbreak of Ebola to strike Uganda in Gulu district back in 2000, which claimed 224 lives. I repeat, what lessons can be learned this time round following the major outbreak of Ebola that hit Uganda in Gulu district back in 2000 that claimed 224 lives. To have your say, text 8778 followed by your name and where you're texting from. We shall be reading some of your comments during tonight's newscast. Now, all workers in the Prime Minister's office will see this month's salaries delayed due to what has been described as unavoidable circumstances, according to a notice displayed at the office. Speaking to NTV, the police say 3 suspects, Emmanuel Arthur, an accountant, Rebecca Kennedy, an office attendant, and Ounyo Isaiah Acacia, have been charged with causing financial loss, embezzlement and forgery, among others. They were, however, given a police bond as investigations continue.
One week on since the investigations began into the embezzlement of funds in the office of the Prime Minister. And today, the key suspect, former Principal Accounting Officer Geoffrey Kazinda, who was given bail on Thursday, took detectives to his office as they pieced together more evidence in this case. According to the police, the charges against the 5 suspects are ready.
Forgery, causing financial loss, conspiracy to commit a felony, and embezzlement.
According to an internal letter dated 27 February 2012, it alleges that Kazinda was transferred to the Ministry of Gender and Labour and Social Development, but later found his way back to the same office, which raises a big question: how? In the minutes from the previous meeting in the same ministry, it was alleged that the account section was requested to provide a list of people who had not accounted for the funds advanced to them, so that necessary action could be taken, but this did not happen. According to the minutes from the meeting by the officials from the Prime Minister's office in June 2012, there it was noted that on most occasions, the Finance Committee has met and allocated money to different departments, but also more often than not, told the workers that there is no money in the coffers, thus causing delays in paying their salaries. And it has also been noted there is a notice within the Prime Minister's building telling the workers that there will be delays in the payment due to unavoidable circumstances. According to the letter, salaries for the month of July 2012 will be paid between 30th July and 3rd August. However, from today, journalists have been blocked from accessing the areas where detectives are carrying out their investigations, citing journalists' interruption of their work. Also, another suspect that was brought to the account's offices was Owinu Isaiah, a cashier, in whose office police found several documents indicating payments without receipts.
As long as we have all inquiries done, then we take them to court, and we want to be as fast as we can.
Investigations are expected to continue next week in order to analyze documents that were discovered from several offices within the account section of the Prime Minister's office. NTV has also learned from sources that other ministries are expected to be stormed as part of ongoing investigations, but it is not clear which ministry will be the next target. Sudil Biarhanga, NTV.
The British and the Dutch governments have joined the US in withholding aid to Rwanda over its alleged involvement in supporting the M23 rebels in the eastern part of the DRC. Rwanda's High Commissioner to Uganda denies the allegations of aiding the rebels and maintains that Rwanda's development will not be hinged on financial support from donors. Chris Ochamenga reports.
UK and Dutch governments announced a suspension of aid to the Rwandan government just 1 week after the United States cut $200,000 meant for military assistance. The decision by the donors was taken over Rwanda's alleged involvement in the eastern DRC conflict. The Netherlands has announced it's suspending €5 million meant to improve Rwanda's judicial sector, while Great Britain says it's delaying a budget support payment that was scheduled for this month. But the Rwandan High Commissioner to Uganda, Major General Frank Mugambaje, says the move by donors is unfortunate because it's based on false information.
First of all, the development of the country will also depend on what the people do, the productive sectors of the country, and so on and so forth. But I'm not saying that aid is not important. But the second point, which is also very important, is that to withdraw aid based on mere, unfounded allegation is something that needs to be examined.
The pressure on the Kagame administration follows a leaked UN report that accused Rwanda of helping create, arm and support the M23 rebels in East Congo in violation of UN sanctions. Chris Ochamringa, NTV.
Now, there are 10 state prisons in South Sudan with about 6,500 inmates, of whom more than half have not been formally tried or been to court. Of these, 64 are Ugandan. The Director General of Prisons in South Sudan is worried that his staff still does not know how to handle prisoners whose rights have subsequently been abused by warders, according to a 2012 report by the Human Rights Watch. South Sudan denies any form of harassment but acknowledges the need for quick capacity building for prisons. Uganda hopes to send more correction officers to train South Sudanese on prisoners' rights and social services, as Franco Lusimbi reports.
2 Ugandans, John Mushabe and Sam Ngom, were awarded with medals in Juba, South Sudan, alongside 57 other correction officers in recognition of their exceptional services in South Sudan prisons. The 59 correction officers are working under United Nations mission to South Sudan. They come from Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Fiji, Netherlands, Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Zambia and Ghana. The Director General of Prisons in South Sudan is not sure there will be more trainers soon to boost capacity building for his staff, but he thinks the need is urgent.
There are mental ill prisoners who are in prison, and inmates, they need actually medical care. The other issue is overcrowding. That is, we want, as soon as we have agricultural lands, we can also transport overcrowded prison to agricultural land where they can be working.
Human Rights Watch reports that inmates in South Sudan live in conditions that range from overcrowding, isolation of the sick, and litany of human rights abuse. Some Ugandans living in South Sudan have subsequently fronted a complaint of torture in correction centers.
I'm sorry, that's not there. My prisons are open. If you want now, you can just imagine and see. These are cases outside. Maybe if there are harassed, maybe in the market, not in the prisons.
The UN initiative to train prisons officers in South Sudan is ongoing. Uganda and South Sudan reached agreement on capacity building, and it is likely more correction officers from Uganda will be going to South Sudan soon to train their counterparts there.
If we can bring the South Sudan prison service actions to have 70% success in rehabilitation, that will be a milestone.
There are 6,500 prisoners in South Sudan. Overcrowding is reported a serious problem. Statutory and customary courts are both used to administer justice. Franco Lisimbi, NTV.
Well, it's time for a short break, but we still have so much more coming up, and you can expect. In our topical feature this week, we explore massage therapy as a popular form of relaxation. And in sport, Uganda Hippos come from a goal behind to clinch victory against Ghana's Black Satellites by 3-1. NTV Weekend Edition continues after this short break. Stay with us.
This is NTV.
To be honest, it's one of the most scary genres of music for me.
For me every day.
Irifemasi nisu badi magero.
We know that all music is beautiful, and that's why NTV brings you the catalogue. Every day at 2:15 p.m. with the classics on Monday, we know that all music is beautiful.
Tonight in our NTV Weekend poll, we are asking what lessons can be learned this time around following the major outbreak of Ebola to strike Uganda in Gulu district back in 2000, which claimed 224 lives. To have your say, text 8778 followed by your name and where you are texting from. Let's take a look at some of your responses so far. Bonnie Tamale says the biggest lesson is that we never learn. How many times have we been hit by the same? The second lesson I have learned is that we do have an imaginable disaster and preparedness ministry. Dennis Nono says there should be funds kept aside for times like these ones. More and more solicitation means that the unexpected diseases can be dealt with comprehensively. Other measures and ways of getting rid of the disease can be preventive measures that were used 12 years ago in Gulu. Well, thank you so much for those responses. Stay tuned. We shall be bringing you more of your comments towards the end of this newscast. Now moving on. Tonight, we tell you about the power of education through a 22-year-old boy named Abdi Longomin from an impoverished background. Abdi was a known beggar on the streets of Moroto town in the Karamoja region. Well, the intervention in his life happened in the first year of operation of the Forum for African Women Educationists, Uganda, with the aid of the Irish government. Well, the forum offers bursaries to bright but disadvantaged pupils in the Karamoja region who have completed primary 7. Florence Nalimba reports.
Approximately 8 years ago, passing this very street of Moroto town in Moroto district, you would have spotted a very small unkempt 14-year-old boy waving at each passing car and pedestrian in the hopes of getting even a shilling. The same boy could have been spotted among the folk here grinding these stones. If anyone had cared enough to know his name, he would have told them, "My name is Abdi Longomin," but no one did.
In 1994, I lost my parent. When he died, with my mother and us, we brought to Moroto district. Me being the head of the family, it had to push me into the streets of Moroto. We're doing hard labor. We used to beg also when whites come, because we knew whites have money.
That little boy, born in Kabong district, grew up into a 22-year-old tidy man. His is a fairy tale.
But my mother used to advise me, even though I'm in the streets, but she made sure that I go to school. After the school, I come back to the streets. I got 15 aggregates. But one time, when I heard about Fawe scholarship, I consulted the headmistress, Kakoli Mozirem Primary School, who helped me to get the scholarship.
Even though FAWE means Forum for African Women Educationalists Uganda, not only girls are beneficiaries. Abdi is one of the few lucky boys who were chosen for a FAWE Irish Aid funded bursary in 2005.
He's now pursuing a degree in demography and reproductive health studies at Chambogo University, one of the 14 lucky students that have made it from the group of 150 that started in 2005.
FAWE's presence under the funding of Irish Aid is in 8 boarding secondary schools in Karamoja region's 7 districts where bursaries are offered each year.
The ratio being 65% girls and 35% boys.
Now, education is a wanting sector in the Karamoja region. In fact, in some districts, you find that they do not even have 1% literacy level. So, any aid that can boost the education sector is more than welcome. And that is something that the Irish government has embarked on in this region. In Kangole Girls Senior Secondary School, out of the 650 students, 174 are on FAWE Irish Aid scholarships.
We see that almost everybody is needy. What we do, we just pick. We pick the best performers.
In 2007, Lady Luck smiled on 14-year-old Sarah Appeal.
I started with my senior 1 in this school, and up to date I'm in my senior 6. The scholarship has provided us with basic needs at school, and it has really kept us here in school.
An achievement indeed, because in this region most parents do not see the value in education. They revel in rearing cattle and marrying off the girls.
I would wish that the scholarship had on its slots.
If the money is available, we will do our very best because we know that it will be used.
The Irish government is now moving to invest in primary education by building 21 primary schools.
3 in each area in Karamoja.
With the offer of such a life-changing opportunity, many children like Abdi in the Karamoja region may get out of beggary. Abdi now walks on the streets of Moroto and is part of the pedestrians from whom other boys beg for a shilling.
These are the boys I grew up with. He happened to identify me, and I also realized him, and we conversed. And he asked me, "You're lost." They told them that I'm dead, but actually I'm still alive. I've met him. He was my good friend.
Can you see me? I'm going to school. I'm one only. Come, bring me.
For a primary 5 dropout, Dubayo is still good at English, and according to Abdi, studying for his friend is not too late in case he gets a helping hand. After all, as he says, education has no age limit. Florence Nalimba, NTV Moroto District.
Police and officials from the Allied Health Professionals Council have arrested 28 fake nurses for allegedly operating without licenses. The joint operation took place in the districts of Masaka and Rakai.
In this clinic in Bettenham Town, Chotera, is a renowned local doctor, Edward Tusubira, who attracts many clients because of his alleged qualifications. As officials from the Allied Health Professionals Council, assisted by the police, visited his clinic, they discovered that this bed without a mattress is where patients who need urgent attention rest, and it's on which patients lie while he is administering the injections. His waste disposal leaves a lot to be desired, and for this he was arrested during the crackdown.
It's very unhygienic. It even makes the person sicker. When it becomes even worse.
How many people have died cured in Giraffe district?
The head of the operation from Allied Health Professionals Council say this man has been a focus of an investigation for some time now.
He does tooth extraction, he delivers mothers, he does general treatment. If you go with simple surgery, we'll do it.
Other 27 fake health workers were also arrested for lacking academic qualifications and appropriate licenses to operate. Dr. Kayizi noted that over 80% of clinics operating in the southern region are run by unqualified workers, putting the lives of patients at risk.
Many people are getting problems like disabilities from those quacker doctors. You have realized it was evidenced on the radio, on the media, that some people even were transfused with Mirinda fruity soda for replacement for blood by a quack doctor. I wish to warn the politicians for their political intervention. I request them to have positive political intervention, because if they do negative political intervention, then we shall turn that into political interruption.
A person caught for such offences can face charges ranging from between 3 months to 3 years or a fine of 3 million shillings.
Now, massage therapy is increasingly becoming a popular way of relaxation, as evidenced in the number of beauty spas and massage parlors sprouting in urban centers. One may think that it is a wastage of time and money, but for others it is a necessity that they cannot live without, as Faith Ariho investigates in this week's topical feature.
Massage is defined as a manipulation of the soft tissues of the body, either manually or mechanically. Massage therapy provides relief from common aches and pains that result from time spent on our computers, our desks, or even vigorous activities such as long days at work. Stephen Mukisa, a certified masseuse, says that a massage is important, especially when you are feeling sluggish. This means that there is a collection of water and toxins in the body which may need to be drained out.
Relaxation, the proper circulation of the blood, that's very, very important. There are some people who sit for very long hours, and because of very little circulation, less oxygen all over the body that is circulated on the body, the feet are going to swell.
The importance of massage includes increased blood circulation and lymph flow that reduce blood pressure, reduces stress and tension, release both chronic and temporary pain, and improves flexibility, also flushing out toxins. On a day-to-day basis, we are on our feet about 80% of the time. Our feet are stress points, and if they are not massaged regularly, then the balance system in our body is affected. Our stress points include our necks and shoulders.
There are motor points under the feet, and the motor points, they have the motor nerves in them, and they carry messages from a particular body organ to the brain. So when there's a breakdown in the communication between a particular body organ and the brain, that means the body organ is not going to respond the right way. So when you touch a motor point, it's like having a fuse box. Let's say under the feet is the body's fuse box. When one fuse blows, the whole body goes down. So when you're doing reflexology, you touch different spots, and then the body starts running normally.
A full body massage can range in price from 80,000 to 100,000 shillings depending on what one wants, and a therapy session lasts between 1.5 hours to 2 hours. There are different types of massage that address different needs of the body, such as the Swedish massage, which is the most popular among all types of massage and is purely for relaxation and is recommended for fast timers. The hot stone massage is where heated small stones are placed on certain points of the body to warm and loosen tight muscles and balance energy centers in the body. Deep tissue massage targets the deeper layers of muscles and connective tissue. The massage therapist uses slow strokes of friction techniques across the grain of muscle. While you may say you don't have time to go to the spa for a massage, a simple massage can be done at home. Gently but firmly work your fingers in small circles on your back and shoulders. Start at the back of your head and work down towards the shoulders. Continue down the shoulders and arms until you are massaging your hands. Keep your fingers well lubricated and breathe slowly and evenly. While we may think we are all suitable to go for a massage, people who suffer from epilepsy and high blood pressure are advised not to go for massage, as it will only trigger a fit or increase one's blood pressure.
When you're on medication, there are certain massage techniques that may not be able to work for you, or when you're injured, there are places where you're not supposed to massage when you're injured, especially or in an accident. Areas that have varicose veins.
Now, many may think that massage therapy is a form of luxury, but it is a necessity. You may try it once a month to see the benefits, as they are many. Faith Ariho, NTV.
Thank you, Faith. I am joined in the studio tonight by Gloria Bamutura, who is a masseuse and also a beautician. A warm welcome to NTV Weekend Edition.
Thank you.
Gloria, you could start us off with the benefits of a massage.
Massage. A massage helps you to relax your mind, your body, improves on your blood circulation, and also improves on the body muscles.
So that's why they say a healthy mind is a healthy body.
Yeah, as you have a massage, your mind and body is just getting better.
Well, a lot of people think that a massage is a waste of time and money. What are your thoughts on that?
Apparently not. Why some people think it's a wastage of money is because it does not have any benefit, any effects. Because when you go and have like the drinks, you get some problems, but with a massage you do not.
Maybe it's because they don't see the effect immediately, or they don't know what it actually does for the body.
Apparently, I think they do not get the proper meaning of a massage. So I think it's best for them to come to our spa, then they...
Well, maybe you would start us off with why it is necessary.
It's necessary.
Or define it for us.
A massage is necessary because it helps release muscle pains in your body, pain in your body.
Is that the massage you do for the whole body or even just a specific part of your body?
Yeah, it can be specific, maybe in the back or your feet.
Okay. Are there basic or specific techniques that can be used, someone can use to do at home instead of going to a professional?
Yeah, maybe if you can tell someone to massage your back or your feet, but in most cases it's better for you to come to a professional because maybe the person may press you in a way that he or she is not supposed to press you.
Are there some techniques that someone can do for themselves?
Not really. Yeah, but they're just normal, just like a back massage, a foot massage, those are basic ones.
Okay. You were saying?
Because not that the other person would be knowing what to press and what not to press.
Okay. In terms of relieving stress, how does the massage help?
It helps to improve on your blood circulation, like I had already said. It helps the digestive system, the lymphatic system. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Well, thank you so much, Gloria. So, as a parting shot, why would you advise someone to come for it? How often should someone have a massage?
Maybe twice a week, depending on what kind of job you do. Or maybe every day. If you're someone who sits back every day, you can have a massage once or twice a week.
And ordinarily a massage would cost about how much? A full body massage and then just a specific massage?
It would cost maybe 80,000.
That's a full body massage? Yes. Okay, and then a specific?
Maybe
50,000 shillings.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Gloria, for taking the time to speak with us.
Welcome.
Now, police have rescued a woman from terrible neglect in the hands of her own parents. Olivia Nabunya is believed to be 23 years old, and it is alleged that she was imprisoned at home and denied food. It is thought Olivia may have contracted an unknown disease during childhood, which her parents failed to treat. The girl has been taken to Mulago Hospital for a medical examination. Police swung into action yesterday as soon as they received information regarding the girl's desperate plight.
Looking frail and dwarfed, this woman is said to be 23 years old. She has been identified as Olivia Nabunya and has been under the care of her father and stepmother, who are accused of neglecting their daughter. It is alleged that Olivia was constantly locked up in the house and even denied food. Olivia's brother Ivan Mponge says their stepmother tortures and overworks them.
Kuva mama we yafa tusibwa bunye wakani Nabunya stepmother ngatemba mire ngankole emirimu mingi ngaderi sitasibawo.
This child has been kept indoors constantly and was isolated from the fellow children and was not getting enough care. The doctors have informed us that the biggest problem is that the child has not been eating, malnourished, and she could have contracted other diseases as a result of that.
However, Olivia's father, Julius Sebunya, denied the allegations, claiming that his daughter, Olivia, is sick and yet he does not have the capacity to treat her as well as take care of all his other 16 children. He has asked well-wishers to come up and help him. Olivia is currently admitted at Mulago Hospital as her stepmother remains on the run. Police are still holding Julius Sebunya for further investigations. Cynthia Asio, NTV.
Well, it's time now for another short break, but I'll be back with the latest in sport. Don't go away.
This is NTV.
To be honest, it's one of the most scary genres of music for me.
For me every day.
Irifemasi nisu tadi magero. To be honest, it's one of the most scary genres of music for me.
For me every day.
Irifemasi nisu tadi magero.
Welcome to NTV Weekend Sport. Uganda Hippos came from a goal down to beat the Black Satellites of Ghana by 3-1 this afternoon. The return leg is scheduled to take place in Accra, Ghana in a fortnight, as Alfred Udong reports.
Uganda Hippos exhibited inept defending against the Black Satellites of Ghana from Michael and Naba to give the visitors the lead with a goal in the 7th minute. The former World Cup winners, however, conceded 3 goals. Julius Ogwang netting the equalizer in the 14th minute before Joseph Mpande put the Hippos in front with the second 20 minutes into the game. Julius Ogwang sealed the Uganda Hippos victory with the third and his second goal of the day for the game to end 3-1 after a barren second half.
The team is good, and we do respect them, and we hope they also had a big crack on our side. So I hope next time when we meet again, we will face a big problem also, because we are going to organize our team again.
Yeah, we can turn it around. We can easily beat Chipos in Ghana. That one, they should be rest assured. We will beat them in Ghana.
The second leg and determinant of who advanced to face either Morocco or Gambia in the last round of this competition is to be played after 2 weeks. The 3-1 victory means that Uganda Hippos need a draw or lose by 1-0 to advance to the last stage of this competition. Alfred Odong, NTV Sport.
Now, rain has washed away Game 2 of the National Baseball League in Lugazi, with the host Victory Rovers and defending champions Chambogo Buffaloes to play tomorrow due to heavy downpour that flooded the pitch. If played, a win for Chambogo will level the score, and a decisive game will be played next weekend. The winner will then be crowned the 2012 National League champion. A win for Victory Rovers will, however, conclude the season tomorrow and will earn them their first national title. Dar es Salaam, Young has beaten Azam by 2-0 to retain the 2012 Sekafa Kagame Cup title. Hamis Kiza and Said Bahanuzi scored Young's goals at the Tanzania National Stadium. And that's all the sport we had for you tonight. Stay with us. Your comments for our NTV Weekend poll this evening are coming up next.
This is NTV.
We know that all music is beautiful, and that's why NTV brings you the catalogue. Every day at 2:15 p.m. with the classics on Monday, reggae on Tuesday. We know that all music is beautiful, and that's why NTV brings you the catalogue. Every day at 2:15 p.m. with the classics on Monday, reggae on Tuesday, country on Wednesday, Africa on Thursday, and love ballads on Friday.
You're like a dream come true. Just wanna be with you.
The beautiful sound of music only on NTV, your official music station. We know that all music is...
Thank you for staying with us. Let's take you back to tonight's NTV Weekend poll, and we asked you what lessons can be learned this time round following the major outbreak of Ebola that hit Uganda in Gulu district back in 2000 and claimed 224 lives. Thank you so much for all of your comments. Let's take a quick look at some more. Carlton Mujuni says a lot of lessons are at stake to learn. The handling of emergencies by the Ministry of Health needs to be improved. This outbreak started way back, but all this while not a single notice came from the ministry. Emergency teams should be at hand to curb the spread of such diseases. Also, the Ministry of Health should embark on sensitization campaigns for health and cleanliness. Bonnie Tamale says we have poor sensitization, rapid response and awareness measures. And finally, James Opio says the government should thoroughly sensitize the masses about Ebola and adequately equip hospitals and medical personnel. Well, thank you so much for all of those responses. Let's take a quick look at Sunday's projected weather. That weather report concludes NTV Weekend Edition for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, so keep it right here on NTV.
Your Saturday afternoons just got better on NTV with Exposed. Join Cats and the Platinum DJs as they bring you some mad DJ skills and crazy video mixes.
You're now rocking with the best. Catch us every Saturday as we live. We take you through an experience you'll never forget.
Remember to call in with your music requests and also get a chance to win some incredible goodies. That's Every Saturday from 1:30 p.m. only on NTV, the station that digs your music. We know that all music is beautiful, and that's why NTV brings you the catalogue. Every day at 2:15 p.m. with the classics on Monday, reggae on Tuesday, country on Wednesday, Africa on Thursday,